This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. We have none other than Mr. Chris Dishman, the new head coach of Texas Southern University, as he was introduced on Tuesday at Shell Energy Stadium. Robust interviews there. A lot of excitement going on with the new head football coach taking it on with the Tigers. How's it going? Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thank you guys for having me on. You know, the last 2 weeks, things been pretty good. Our guys
been a roller coaster. I know that you.
No, I was saying
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The coaches and myself has been out recruiting already, so we're just trying to bring more people to the Tiger Nation.
I appreciate you. I see you on the road getting in some recruiting. Anything exciting to tell us about, or do you want to hold off a little bit on the recruiting and say you're going to surprise them in February?
Yeah, I surprised you there because we don't want to really give out a lot of secrets. You know, we had an enemy in the building yesterday, so we don't want to give them a heads up of what we're doing. And so I think we have done a great job in recruiting. The coaches have been working tirelessly to get guys in here. But like I told our gentlemen, our players two days ago, that the meat and potatoes of this team is already here. We don't need to go out and wholesale and do this and do that. We can win with the players in the room. So we just try to get pieces here and there, you know, before we can get out and win a championship. Because the first thing I told them is I want to win, not just one game, all games. So when you go into the game with a growth mindset of you're going to win every single game, no matter what goes wrong, you got to continue to pushing forward and continue to push for that W.
Before we get in maybe a little bit of the staff, I wanted to go back on Tuesday and talk about Coach Bubba McDowell. Obviously, it's been all over the place now, so all our followers know that you played with the Houston Oilers. You were there when and played with Bubba McDowell, and not to be outdone, you actually had Alabama State's head coach Eddie Robinson Jr. on the team as well. Just fascinating when you're making the mix and you take it out of the SWAC. A year later, as you leave and continue your career, you have Eddie George that now is the coach at Tennessee State as he's making moves with a lot of noise as his defensive coordinator. But talk a little bit about how unique it was. I'm not sure how many times you'll see at a press conference that literally the rival institution head coach is there just to welcome you to the conference and exciting for the opportunity that you have in front of you.
Well, you know, Bubba, you know, everyone knows Bubba McDowell and I we're like brothers. You know, he the one pushed me to go after the Texas Southern job. You know, he was always, you heard anything? I said, no, nothing yet. And he's probably the second person I called when I did hear I was getting a job. So him and I, you know, we're going to always be friends. We can compete against each other but still have a friendly relationship, a brother relationship, rather, not a friend. We're not friends, we're brothers.
No doubt. I'm sure. I appreciate you sharing that. It probably reminds those that have brothers, they remember playing in the backyard basketball, or in your case, playing a little bit of football, throwing it out. And those battles got pretty tough back there. Now, when you came back in the house, Mom made sure that y'all loved each other and sat at the table. So I can imagine, we understand and can relate to the fact when it kicks off, whistle blows, toe beats leather, it's time to get down. But before and after that, you know, certainly have the brother relationship. With that being said, let me let the star of the show in a lot of ways that line this up. Charles, get in here and ask the question.
Well, welcome, Coach Dishman, to Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. And even further, welcome to Texas Southern University.
Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm so excited about getting started. You know, it's going to be, like I said, I've been coaching I've been coaching 19 years. And you always dream of an opportunity to become a head coach. And now that dream has came true. So you guys are going to get my best each and every day. You know, no matter what, I'm going to give you my best each and every day. And hopefully my best is good enough where we can win the championship.
No doubt about it. And I want to kind of follow up on Dr. Cavil. He mentioned Coach Bubba McDowell being there at the press conference. But I'm very curious. How are those defensive meetings? Did you guys know that you all had the makings of head coaches one day when you're talking about Bo McDowell, yourself, Eddie Robinson, all in those defensive meetings, especially around defensive chalk talk?
No, we didn't. At least I didn't. When you plan, you don't really think about coaching. You just think about playing, doing the best you possibly do at your position. And then as life goes on, you think about coaching and think about other things. It's just how God works in great ways that He bring four of us into the coaching world. But we got more. I think the Houston Oilers. I'm not for sure about this, and we've had to look this up. But the Houston Oilers have more coaches than I think any other team. You have four. You have four already there. You have Steve Jackson, Marcus Robinson, Blaine Bishop, I think, is coaching. So Ernest Givens was coaching for a while. So we have so many guys out there coaching, So that's what I think that's why was a great team as players. Now we all turn into coaching.
That's fascinating. I appreciate that.
Go ahead, Mike. Jump in there and ask the follow-up.
Yeah, Coach. Again, welcome. You see this PV in the background, but we all family. So if you want to share any secrets, I promise you I won't tell anybody. No, congratulations again. And I guess I wanted to ask a question. Your background, your coaching background is extensive, and you've had success, in the XFL and the NFL. And one of the characteristics of your coaching experience has been the defensive success. So if I may ask, going into this thing, what are some of the characteristics of your defensive philosophy that you've used in other places that you plan to bring to TSU? If you could give me two or three of your nuggets, if you will.
The same thing, being aggressive, being smart, have high football IQ, try to get through a game with no penalties. It probably is impossible to get through the game without any penalties, but smart penalties. If a guy's about to beat you on a touchdown, it's okay to grab him. It's okay to grab the receiver. But if he's not trying to beat you on a touchdown, don't reach out and grab receivers and get pass interference calls, offsides penalties that you can control, like offsides, trying to be a tough guy after the whistle, hitting someone after the whistle. Those penalties you can control. Those penalties are called selfish penalties. Everybody want to be a tough guy after the whistle. Don't be a tough guy after the whistle. Be a tough guy during the whistle or before the whistle.
Wow. Thank you, Coach.
Coach, I wanted to follow up a little bit in terms of those penalties first. And you hear that. And obviously it's important in coaching to not be very penalized because it can hurt your team. Over the years and experience, going back to when you started coaching in 2004 all the way to the present, 20 years, as you said, experience in different capacities at different levels, which is fascinating, almost too much to name in regards to people not understanding all the types of ways that you've seen football. Are there certain things that you can do in regards to players of putting them in the position not to have a lot of penalties? Or is that something like you recruit that you can tell in terms of recruiting players that may not be penalized? Can you take us a little bit inside the head coach's mindset of what does that mean when you say we don't want to create penalties?
You have to stress them during practice. You have to make practice as hard as this possible. You got to stress them. You got to hard count. You got to do different stuff. You got to run them on gassers, have them come back. Now let's run a play. You have to run them on 440s, runs. Now run around the track 2 or 3 times, then come back and let's make a play. Because when you're fresh, you don't make mistakes. You only make mistakes when you're tired. So we're going to stress the guys during practice. Our practice is going to be very intense. We're going to tackle. We're going to hit. We're going to play football in practice. We're going to make sure that they understand where they have to be each and every time. It's not I can get there. I can almost get there. You got to get there. And we're going to stress our guys in practice. So I'm sure it's going to be kind of a rude awakening for those guys, but change is good. In order to win championships, you have to have change. You can't stay the same. So each and every day, every player have to improve on what they're doing. They have to show me before they go out to practice, what are you going to improve on today? What are you going to improve over today? Because no one wake up and say, oh, you know what? I think I'll be second place. We always want to be first place.
Well, I know defenses win championships, but offenses sell tickets. And when I say championships, obviously the first goal is the SWAC championship, and now you have the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. Not to brag, Coach, not to brag, but these gentlemen here, we've been in Atlanta since the celebration started, so we'll be there. We're going to look forward to see the Tigers get there as well. Mike will say, hold on, he wants the Prairie View there, so that first Labor Day Classic goes some way in maybe deciding that. But anyway, with that being said, let's get to the offensive side. Sell some of these tickets. Let us know what's going to happen on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, offensively, if they score 10 points and the opponent scores 7 points, I think that's a win for us. So we want our offense to score more points than the opponent scored. If the opponent scored 30 points, they have to score either 31 or 32 points. So offensively, we're going to run the ball. We're going to have good sound offense. And the same thing is offense as well as defense. Not jumping off sides. Not having penalties that can hurt you. You know, if we're in field goal range and it's 3rd and 4 and 3rd, whatever, let's say 3rd and 4, and then one of our guys jump off sides, that's a penalty. That's pushing us back and making it for a harder kick. So it's just playing smart football. You know, high football IQ guys who be able to make it work. And the quarterback taking care of the football. You know, no interceptions, no fumbles. And the running backs high and tight. The ball is supposed to be run high and tight. Put that ball underneath your arm and protect the football. Because studies have shown, I did a study when I was with the Chargers, that the team who win the turnover battle, win 3rd down, and don't have no selfless penalties, you should come out with a victory.
I remember that. Turnovers.
Yep.
Lacking the penalties.
3rd down.
Those are part of the key ingredients to winning games.
And
With that being said,
3rd down.
3rd down percentage. I'm gonna keep my little chart this year in the SWAC and see if it works. In the SWAC, be like, look, I got the mess. I'm gonna make some money betting too. After I get about 3/4 of the way through the season. Charles, go ahead and follow up.
No doubt, real quickly, and you mentioned the meat potatoes being there on campus now with Texas Southern, but as you look at it now, what do you identify as TSU football's most pressing need?
Well, like I said, I think we just get pieces in. You know, I think we be a very good football team, and you guys be very proud of how these guys gonna work. You know, we start our strength and conditioning within another week or so. You know, they're gonna be a lot of guys getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock. You know, so they're gonna be out. They got to get to bed at night, so they can get up in the morning. You know, I'm a morning person. I've always been a morning person. I wake up 4:30, 5 o'clock. I say my prayers. After my prayers, I drink my coffee, and then I start my day. You know, so I'm expecting our young men to be morning people too, but not everybody's a morning person. You know, but we're gonna have 4 a.m. runs.
Oh yeah.
You know, so we're gonna have 5 a.m. lifts. We're gonna have those lifts because it's mental. You know, 90% of football is mental. 10% of it is only the physical part.
Right.
You know, we can teach you how to do the physical part, but we can't. We can try to teach you the mental part, but you have to be the coach of your own body. Players have to coach their own body. I can't tell you when to go to sleep. I can't tell you stop eating that Big Mac. I can tell you to put nutritional drinks in your body and not the sodas and not the iced teas. Now, don't get me wrong. I like iced tea now, okay? But you can't put but I'm not playing. So I can drink iced tea.
That's right.
Right. Exactly.
You know? So
I like that. That's a really good nugget in terms of understanding your body. Like, we can coach plays. We can coach you physically. We can bulk you up, take you down. But at some point, there's an ownership in a lot of ways, it seems, that you're talking about. And the ownership is in your body. And you can take that away from football in terms as you mature in age and life. Is the ability to really control those things you can control, but certainly important in sports and nonetheless football. Mike, go ahead and follow up with your question. We'll get Coach out of there. We want to make sure he gets a chance to finish up recruiting. We don't want him to have any problem saying inside the HBC Sports Lab, I was getting this last kid. I had one more
talking about they held me up.
I got to get there before Bubba McDowell get there.
So, Coach, I'll just go real easy with you, and we talked X's and O's. You know, you know what it needs, for your team, But as you take a look at the SWAC, you look at the rivalries, you look at how the SWAC plays, you look at how the MEAC plays. Have you taken a look at the playing styles, and what excites you the most going into this job? Is it playing tough defenses? Is it playing the rivalries? Is it a combination of the above?
Sarah, I'm the type of person, I take care of home. And I don't look at no one else, what they're doing or what they're not doing. I look at what the Tigers could do. So I've been so concentrating on what the Tigers can and cannot do, and that's where I'm attacking it. So if we have like I said before, if we have the more points than the other team, then it's called victory for us. And I'm just trying to get our guys to understand that we have to change our mindset of what we're doing. We have to change our bodies. And we have to make sure that we can't do what we did last year. We can't say, well, last year we did this. Well, last year is last year. We can't go back. We got to, from that point forward, we got to go forward. I'm a forward-thinking person. So I'm not looking at any film last year. I'm not looking at any film 2 years from now. Everyone has a chance to play, from a walk-on to a scholarship player. Because spring ball would tell me exactly where you're going to be. Because I'm going to stress them. I'm going to stress them during spring ball. I'm going to stress them during practice. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm sorry. I'd rather for a person to break during practice than break during the game. Because we have time to correct him during practice. We won't have time to correct him during the game.
No doubt.
Absolutely. Well, Coach,
Right.
we know your time is valuable. We appreciate you giving some of that time today. We look forward. We'll be around for spring practice, so we'll get out there, get a chance to see a little bit of the Tigers and see how things are going. And we certainly want to get a chance to talk with you throughout the spring ball and then back in the season to give some updates about each of the games and coming up with that. So we look to follow up with you, Coach.
Sound good, guys. I'm sorry I was late, but I appreciate you guys. I'll be on again, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate
no problem.
you,
We look forward to getting you back.